Well, first off, whenever you have an opponent like a North Texas, you have to preface everything you say with saying, yes, I understand it is North Texas. So any kind of accolades or props that I give the Texas Longhorns, I understand that everything that was done against the University of North Texas. So the Texas Longhorns win 38-7 in the opener. Charlie Strong's very first game as the Texas Longhorns head coach. And from the defensive side of the ball, you could definitely tell he's had an impact. The main thing, of course, the Longhorns had like 4 picks tonight, one return for a touchdown. In the first half, they had 3 picks, and UNT had only 1 completion. But what really impressed me a lot about the Texas defense was how well they tackled. And that was something, tackling is a very basic part of football, but it's something that I think we all took for granted as Longhorns fans, but not anymore after watching last season, at least the first half of last season, where they were the worst tackling team in college football. Across the board, no matter what level, the University of Texas was the worst team at tackling last year. And you can just tell by the form, the way they get their head across the bow, and the way that their strategy and things of that sort, like they just felt they're fundamentally sound, at least more so than they were last year. And there's more energy on the defense. There's a sense of real pride on this defensive unit. And the only touchdown that was given up was by the offense. The defense pitched a shutout, even got their own a touchdown of their own. So the defense, I have nothing negative to say about the defense. Love to see Jordan Hicks out there making tackles. You see what kind of impact he has. Defensive line played really well, and of course the secondary was. UNT had nothing to do when they were throwing the ball. So that being said, of course, next week is Taysom Hill and BYU. We know exactly what that guy can do. He set a record against us last year. And he tore up Connecticut week 1 too. He's looking like he's even better. He's got that robot knee or whatever, and he's awesome. So that's the guy next week. That's a real test for the Longhorns, and I'm interested to see how this Texas defense that does look a lot better than last year, what they do against a real opponent. North Texas was completely outmatched in this thing. I actually kind of overestimated them to the extent that I thought that they might make things interesting a little bit, at least early on, and they didn't. They didn't have a chance tonight. But Brigham Young next week in Austin, that one still worries me. And I'm excited to see what this defense can do against them. Now to the offense. You can, as always, you can definitely tell the talent that is on Texas Longhorns, especially in the backfield with Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray, who both had good games today. And John Harris, he had a great game tonight. He had probably his best game of his career for a while. But there's just no cohesion right now on offense. They a lot of times just felt like guys did not know where to go. I don't know if it was the UNT defensive line. If that was the case, then we're got more problems than we know of. If the UNT defensive line is giving us problems, David Ash never really felt like he got into a rhythm. He made a couple good throws throughout the game. We had a couple of big plays throughout, but when you play a team like North Texas, you're not really looking to really hit the big play and stuff. That's there. What you're looking for is to see if you can consistently run your offense. And I never felt confident each time we got the ball that we could score every time. And of course, the biggest loss today, and I think even bigger than how well the defense played or how lackluster the offense was losing Espinoza. They said it looks like a high ankle sprain. That's huge. He's one of the most important guys on this team. And you saw when he went out, that backup center wasn't quite sure what he was doing. One of our fumbles was because of a missed snap between him and Dash. He was getting kind of torn up a little bit there in front. That's not good. And then, of course, now it wasn't the center there, but of course the touchdown was pulling guard, knocked the ball to David Ash's hand in the back of the end zone or in the front of the end zone, and then UNT jumped on it. So just really, really sloppy from the offense, and it's going to have to get better because I think if this defense can keep this kind of intensity up, they can be really, really good. I want to see them against some real good opponents to really, get the full grade on these guys. But the defense did what they were asked of. But you're going to have an offense to back them up. And there's the talents out there, but it just seems the communication's not there right now. So we'll see what happens with that. So am I pleased? Well, I'm halfway pleased because of the way the defense played. But the offense had some good moments, but was not as nearly as consistent and polished as I was really hoping to see. Maybe I've just been spoiled by the Colt McCoy years, where that was a given. But these last couple of years, I had to get used to trying to see offenses kind of grow into what they can be throughout the year. Hopefully, it grows more than that, because next week against Brigham Young, they're going to have to be ready, because Brigham Young is hitting on all cylinders. If you watch that Connecticut game, on defense as well. So that's a big game for us. But hey, Texas wins 38-7. That's not really the big story. The big story is Espinoza being out, and who knows how long that's going to be. And that's going to be huge. But it is good to see football back. It's good to have Charlie Strong getting his first win out there. It's albeit against North Texas. But the schedule definitely amps it up just a bit in the coming weeks, starting next week against BYU. But hook 'em horns, Texas fight. They get that W. And we will see you guys next time and see if the Longhorns can tame Taysom Hill, who torched them last season. It was awful, and I'm still have nightmares of that game. So, but